Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nararya Aldrino from Bandung Institute of Technology or ITB, and now I'm presenting my research on the how does the implementation of Robo-Advisors impact personal financial planning among Indonesian investors. This study explores how Robo-Advisor influence investor satisfaction, decision making, and adoption factors specific to Indonesia's growing financial tech landscape. So, as for the agenda, we are going through the introduction, research question, objective, the theoretical framework, the hypothesis, methodology, finding discussion, and then the last one, the conclusion. So, robot advisors have become increasingly relevant worldwide, and their entry into the Indonesian market is especially notable. In Indonesia, robo-advisors represent a shift toward accessible digital financial management, appealing primarily to millennials and new investors who often find traditional financial services intimidating or difficult to access. By providing tailored portfolios based on risk profile and investment goals, platforms like Bibit aims to simplify the investment process, making it more accessible and less daunting. Let's consider Bibit as an example. In recent years, Bibit has closed 30 million US dollar Series B funding round from Sequoia Capital India, demonstrating the increasing attention and investment flowing into robot advisor in Indonesia. In 2020, the country's retail investor participation grew by 56% year over year, with millennials, those between the age of 21 and 40, making up a substantial portion of this growth. These trends signal a significant demographic shift, with younger generation showing a growing interest in investment. However, Indonesia has a lower adoption rate for robo-advisor than neighboring countries. For instance, countries like Singapore and Malaysia have embraced robo-advisors more rapidly. According to studies, factors such as performance expectancy and social influence are key drivers of robo-advisors adoption in Indonesia, especially among young adults. At the same time, there are barriers such as limited accessibility and knowledge gaps, which create challenges for new users. This study aims to analyze how robot advisors affect financial planning satisfaction, the factors influencing their adoption, and how they shape financial strategies among Indonesian investors. The goal is to better understand how these digital tools fit into Indonesian unique financial environment and what makes them appealing or challenging for local investors. And now we are going to talk about the research question of this paper. So the first research question is, how has the use of robot advisors influenced satisfaction with financial planning strategies among Indonesian investors? The second one is, what are the key factors affecting the utilization of robot advisors among Indonesian investors? And the last one is, how does the satisfaction with risk tolerance adjustment from using robot advisors influence investment behaviors in Indonesia? For the research objective, the first one is to evaluate the influence on financial planning satisfaction, assess how the use of robot advisors impact the satisfaction levels regarding financial planning strategies among Indonesian investors. The second objective is to examine ways in which robot advisors affect Indonesian investor decision making regarding investment. And the third objective is investigate the main factors that promote or hinder the adoption and continued use of robot advisor among Indonesian investors. And for the last one is the recommendation for improvement in accordance with the result, and make suggestion how Indonesian investor and service providers can utilize robot advisor for personal financial planning. Now we are going to talk about the theoretical framework, and in chapter 2 we explore the theoretical foundation of robot advisors, beginning with their global adoption trends. Since 2017, robot advisors have seen exponential growth, increasing from around 2 million users in 2017 to an estimated 30 million in 2023. These sharp rises reflect a broader shift toward digital financial services as internet access expands globally. And assets under management for robot advisors have grown dramatically as well, from around 1 billion US dollar in 2017 to over 1 trillion in 2023. These growth rates signals a rising demand for automated financial services, with robo-advisors perceived as efficient, cost-effective alternative to traditional advisors. Robo-advisors are particularly attractive to small-cap investors who previously had limited access to personalized finance services. By offering low fees, tax benefits, and data-driven strategies, these platforms appeal to a wide range of investors who valued convenience and transparency. However, critics caution that some hidden fees, limited personalization option, and poor risk assessment practices can reduce trust in robo-advisors. So, looking specifically at Indonesia, we see a preference for human advisors over digital ones. Study indicate that Indonesian investors often favor human advisors for the accessibility and the personalized guidance by they offer. As a case in point, Bareska, Indonesia first and only OJK licensed robo-advisor, addresses this preference by providing transparency and adhering to Sharia principles, making it particularly appealing to Muslim investors seeking ethical investment options. The research also formulated three hypotheses to examine the impact of robo-advisor on the financial planning, which the first one is the use of robo-advisors positively influence overall satisfaction and financial planning among Indonesian investors. The second one is higher satisfaction with the personalization of services provided by robo-advisor increased the likelihood of continuing their use for financial planning among Indonesian investors. And the last hypothesis that we create is that higher satisfaction with the change in risk tolerance due to the use of robot advisors is associated with greater changes in investment frequency among Indonesian investors. Now, for this study, we use quantitative approach utilizing structured survey distributed through Google Forms. This method allows us to collect responses efficiently from a broad sample of Indonesian investors, particularly younger users with an interest in robo-advisors. And the survey used 5-point Likert scale, which is a reliable way to measure attitudes and perception and enable us to capture a broad spectrum of investor opinions. We took a deductive approach, basing our hypothesis on established theories about financial satisfaction and robo-advisor adoption. By analyzing quantitative data, we could ensure the integrity of our findings. And also, statistical analysis was conducted using SPSS, focusing on both descriptive and inferential statistics. These include ANOVA and regression analysis to understand how independent variables like robot advisor use related to dependent variables such as satisfaction and investment frequency. This methodological framework allows us to quantify the impact of robo-advisors on financial planning, making it possible to draw meaningful insight from the data. So now we are going to the findings and discussion for the respondent demographic profile. And out of 110 respondents, the majority, about 60% were aged 21 to 30, and half were employed full time, and about 40.9% of respondents had used robo-advisor, which give us useful cross-section of experience levels and demographic. And note that the data that we are analyzed, that we are calculate, it's only the 40.9%, which means we only calculate the people that have used the robo-advisors. So now we are going to chapter 4, which is the results, still continuing the findings and discussion. So for hypothesis 1, we found that robo-advisors significantly improve satisfaction with financial planning with an R-squared value of 0.975. Our results show that robo-advisors can meet the needs and expectations of Indonesian investors, particularly by providing efficient, personalized financial management. As for hypothesis 2, revealed that satisfaction with personalization has a positive, though marginal, effect on the likelihood of continued use. The p-value was slightly above the traditional significance level, indicating that while personalization is appreciated, it's not a major driver of user retention. This suggests that Robo-Advisor platform may need to improve other features to increase long-term engagement among users. So, hypothesis 3 found no significant relationship between changes in risk tolerance and investment frequency. This suggests that while Robo-Advisors may help users adjust their risk tolerance, they don't necessarily lead to more frequent investment activity. Other factors, such as market condition or personal financial goals, might have a more substantial impact on investment frequency than the use of robot advisors alone. And these findings highlight both the strength and limitation of robot advisors. While they're successful in increasing satisfaction, area like personalization and risk management may require additional development to fully meet investor needs in Indonesia. So, in conclusion, this study provides valuable insight into the impact of robo-advisor on personal financial planning in Indonesia. We found that robo-advisors are effective in enhancing satisfaction with financial planning, but have limited influence on changing risk tolerance and investment frequency. This underscores the value of robo-advisor as a tool for simplifying financial planning, though it also points to areas for further improvement, particularly in maybe personalization and risk management. Our quantitative approach has limitation. The focus on numerical data doesn't capture psychological factors that might impact user satisfaction and behavior. And additionally, our sample was predominantly younger investor, so the result may not be fully generalizable to other demographic. We also didn't account for external factors like economic trends or market volatility, which can affect investment behavior. And to build on this research, future studies should incorporate qualitative methods such as interviews or focus group to gain deeper insight into investor motivation and behavior, expanding the demographic scope to include different age groups and analyzing external economic influences would provide a more comprehensive understanding of robot advisors in Indonesia. So that's all from me. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the study and its finding. Good afternoon, everyone.